Hi, and welcome to FireTech Talk. Today I'm here with Wills Moore, CEO of Agilitas HR Consulting. We're going to talk about how HR can be integrated into your fire and life safety business. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we got some phenomenal questions here, so let's just jump right in. So what advice would you give an owner of a smaller service company who wants to hire employees for the first time? What should they consider from an HR perspective?
So obviously there's a lot of kind of tactical / legal / compliance considerations around, documentation, those kind of things. I think that's pretty straightforward. You can get a lot of help out there with that. I think that often at every size organization, companies underestimate the process of recruiting and finding a good fit and making sure that they're trying to attract candidates. So what I would recommend out of the gate is really doing a little research on what the market is like today, thinking through a good process that you're going to interview candidates through. And then obviously the other thing is once you find a great candidate, you want to put together a great onboarding plan to make sure that they are well trained, get off to a good start, and feel part of the family.
So going off of that, what resources are available to small business owners who need support but don't quite think their business is ready for a full-time HR employee yet?
Yeah, there are a lot of fractional organizations out there, HR outsourcing, even very small. Every city or every small market of any size has people who come in and help you on a fractional basis. It's, I think, very affordable. Again, and these are people who are up on the latest and greatest with changes to the labor laws and so forth. So that's a starting point. Of course, there's a lot of great resources out there on the internet. The organization that's got kind of the most information is probably called the Society of Human Resources Management. That's the main professional association, and they provide a lot of great free resources on their website that anybody can use. And last but not least, I would say probably something like the SBIC or Small Business Owners Association out there would be also a good source.
Absolutely. Okay, so continuing down that, why would a fire equipment distributor want an employee mentoring program?
Yes, that's a great question, and it's something that I work with a lot of clients on, especially today. So mentoring is really a great way to help people feel more connected and help them ramp up their learning curve when they're new. But it also helps them, again, connect with the company better. And it's not just here's your training manual. It's an ongoing conversation, dialogue. Hopefully the mentor, somebody who, I know we're going to talk about that in a second, but hopefully the people who are providing the mentoring are good teachers, good leaders, can kind of show them the ropes, so forth and so on. So I'm a huge fan of it, and especially in this day and time where we've got such low unemployment and it's very tough to hire and keep great talent.
Yeah, and mentoring is such an interesting subject. We definitely want to dive into that more. If someone watching this video likes the idea of mentoring, how do they get that management buy-in?
Well, I think you can, obviously there's a lot of kind of, subjective things around, again, back to what I just talked about, helping people get connected and guide, being a shepherd, so to speak. But I think more importantly, there's a lot of objective information. If a company is struggling with turnover or if they are having trouble attracting talent to the organization, especially if you're small, there's a business case around that. When you look at high turnover, the industry has, I think, roughly about 24% turnover currently. Those are big numbers. Those add up in terms of the impact to the business and the bottom line. So I think there is definitely a business case for something like a mentoring program.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you get people to join in on mentoring? So you've got the program, you've developed it, you're really excited. How do you now get people to jump in, both on the mentee side and then the mentor side? Yeah,
I think the mentee side is hopefully a little bit more, hopefully a little easier in terms of they're going to, especially if they're new, they're going to welcome that, or you can just say this is part of your being a new hire here, kind of volunteer them, so to speak.
Sure.
I think getting mentors is an important process because obviously you want people who are interested, but it's also important that they have good skills to communicate, to follow through, that they're going to be committed to what they're doing here. So I think, again, in this day and time, it's very appealing to people. You read a lot about now the demographic shifts in the workforce. The younger generation is looking for more engagement and connection, and a mentoring program is a classic way of doing that, low-hanging fruit.
Absolutely. Are mentor programs just for future leaders and managers, or can mentoring be applied across the board to all levels of an organization?
Absolutely, all levels of the organization. And again, smaller organizations, you've got to have everybody kind of performing at their best, and so you don't want to single anybody out. You want to really take the time to cultivate and help anyone, what they're doing. Again, with this industry, there is a clear kind of ramp up to productivity and revenue generation for key roles in the industry, and so to me, it's kind of a no-brainer in that way that they would do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you explain a little bit when we talk about reverse mentoring? What does that mean, and how does that re-energize and re-engage possibly workers who are a little later on in their career?
Yeah, this is really very interesting, a new kind of trend. There's a word out there called minturn, and it's the same idea that you have a mentoring relationship that's two-way. Typically, it's going to be somebody who's towards later in their career, maybe in the words of kind of the demographics, Gen X, so somebody who's late 40s, 50s, or baby boomers. And of course, those folks have all the institutional knowledge. They've got the wisdom around emotional intelligence. They know how things work, how the culture operates. But what they are struggling to do, just like yours truly, is keep up with technology.
Sure.
And so having a two-way mentoring relationship with somebody who's a Gen Z, so somebody younger, early career, can be a really powerful, fruitful thing. And it can also accelerate the development of a close relationship, right?
Sure.
If it's a two-way street. Yeah. So I think it really works well and serves companies, on both sides, because they need their workforce, even the ones who are more experienced, later career, they need them to stay up to date and stay current as possible with technology development.
Yes, absolutely. And to wrap up here, should specific goals be established, and do milestones or benchmarks play a role in these programs?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, it's not just like, okay, well, John, you and Sally are going to be mentoring and y'all just make it up as you go. What gets measured gets accomplished. I think we all, have heard that phrase. So I think it's worth kind of laying out what are the expectations of a mentor, what's the time commitment, and then setting out a program that can be, let's say a new hire, that can be something that's, from 3 months to a year, and kind of setting in a cadence of, we're hoping you meet at least once a month, once every 2 weeks, checking in, some kind of milestones and those kind of things. So I think it's very important. It also shows the commitment to the program if if there's accountability there. And I think it's a way, frankly, mentors in a lot of companies, some of them receive, extra rewards for their efforts, kind of going above and beyond.
Absolutely. Great way to get buy-in. Well, Wills, thank you so much for joining us today. I've certainly learned a lot, and I'm sure our viewers have as well. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Brooks YouTube channel for more content just like this, and we'll see you next time.